is holding for all of us. Higher force calling us. Unexpected visits to the coroner. But tragedy, pain has befallen us. And as we getting older, you quickly realize that you have to be stronger than you ever been. Lifespan has to be longer. Too many people taking life for granted. Too much negativity.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? You already know who it is. It's the Talk of New York Chef. I got 3 of my homies with me. It's not even about us. It's going to be about the man of the hour. This dude is killing it right now. But I'm going to introduce my guys because, it would be rude if I did not, even though at the moment I should not. But I have my brother Larkin with me. Larkin, how are you, baby?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Now I have Crooked, who I love to argue with, who's my brother of brothers, and we fight like no other. Crooked, how are you?
Doing great, man. Just blessed to be on this podcast with y'all.
Absolutely. And then we have Drake Adams. Drake, how are you?
Doing great, my friend. Ready to get this thing rolling.
There you go. And like I said, I'm going to do this a little differently. Larkin, please, you start this off, my brother.
Will do. First and foremost, Zicky, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And also, just tell us what you got going on right now with your Twitch.
Oh, for Pete's sake, hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Gather close, turn up your speakers, because it is the N.W.A. World Must-See Television Champion, Outlandish Zicky Dice. Zicky, how you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm feeling alive and well. You know what? We're quarantined, but the title reign days do not count. I think tomorrow I'm coming up to close to day 60 of a perfect record of 0-0 as an undefeated television champion. Man, life is great. Woo! Thank you for having me. What an introduction.
You know what? That's a dope introduction. Before I cut my guy off, because I got to cut him off. So would you consider yourself the greatest quarantine champion of all time?
Absolutely. Some say that I caused the virus actually by licking the title when I won it. And, I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I've got tricks and treats up my sleeve. Like you asked, what have I got going on? I haven't stopped working. If you've been following my outlandish journey on social media, I've been posting some content for the world out there. And also, I guess I'm going to announce it first here. I partnered up with Twitch. That's right. So if you go to twitch.com/zickydice and hit follow, it's a little naked and boring at the moment. But I've got some outlandish fun up ahead, guaranteed. You heard it first here.
All right, beautiful. First question that I have for you, sir, is tell us what it's like being trained by Seth Rollins and being a graduate of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. We've seen Seth Rollins being one of the pivotal faces in both Ring of Honor and WWE, respectively, against the likes of Samoa Joe, Kevin Steen. The list goes on and on. Team with Jimmy Jacobs, Age of the Fall, Do It For Her, etc., etc. So I wanted to ask you, talk about being under the tutelage of Seth Rollins, being a graduate of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, and just the overall experience.
Well, you know what? I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot. You're talking to the top graduate of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. I graduated from the 3rd class, and I broke into the business a little late at 26. So when I made the decision to move across the country and go train at the Black and Brave, I wanted to be trained by, in my opinion, and maybe we can argue about that if you want, by the personal best, by the world's best. And at that time, it was Seth Rollins. And another fun fact, I was at WrestleMania 31 and where he cashed in and won the title. 2 weeks later is when I moved to go and train. So I'm one of 12 to have ever been trained by a current WWE champion. Fun fact. I think there were some that trained with him the second time he won, but that's all good. But, it was the hands down toughest thing I've ever done. And I knew if I was going in, I was going all in. It's either you're in or you're in. And I chose to be in. So as soon as I graduated there, just literally worked anywhere and everywhere possible while carrying and flying that Black and Brave flag. So I set a high standards to all students that go to Black and Brave, and and hopefully they follow in outlandish Zicky Dice's footsteps.
And I think they will. I mean, we see a lot of great wrestling schools out there. So, I mean, Black and Brave is truly one of them.
Agreed.
All right, man. So my question for you would be, obviously you're a wrestler. You've been wrestling for a little bit now, and you faced a whole list of opponents. So who would be your favorite opponent that you faced up to this date?
Oh, man. It's a tough question. First one that comes to mind, I'm going to go ahead and say Ricky Starks. I enjoy wrestling Ricky as much as I hate him. I love him, and I think we've got some great chemistry. And it's a shame that we're dealing with this stuff right now because we could have been making some quality television together. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Ricky Starks.
All right. So I do see that not only are you a wrestler, I see that you do music. I did my research.
Oh
here.
yeah.
I did my research. You're a singer for the Heart to Heart. So what's it like balancing the two, like being in wrestling and doing the music at the same time?
Well, it's the same circus, just different games. That's the best way I can put it. I started off, found punk rock and hardcore. I wrestled growing up, freestyle and Greco-Roman, and then got into music after my father had passed my sophomore year. Yeah, we toured the country, Canada. We were on Warped Tour. We did a bunch of big tours, and we just released a new record this past Valentine's Day. So you can check out Heart to Heart's Heartbreaker now everywhere you stream music. So give that a listen. But I stay busy, and there's just a lot of shit to get done. So I just get it done, make it happen. I got the world to take over, and I'm not done yet.
No, definitely. And here's the crazy part. Obviously, you're super busy and everything else. But what do you do for fun? Like, what is, instead of the working out and the music and everything else, what are you doing for fun during this quarantine time?
Well, I'm getting married in October, so planning a wedding. I hang out with my dog, Ric Flair. I've lost some money in an online poker club that I've joined recently with some friends. Let's see, what else have I been doing? A lot of FaceTiming, checking in on family and friends. And that's pretty much about it. And some video games in between. And really, that's about it.
Larkin, before you go into your question, I got to cut you off because his dog's name is Ric Flair. I got to know what kind of dog Ric Flair is.
Ric Flair is half Australian Shepherd, half Yellow Lab at 97 pounds. Yes, his release command is woo.
Woo!
He does woo.
That's awesome.
Well, first and foremost, if you got a dog like Ric Flair, I mean, how can you not? Very energetic. Got the styles that make the ladies smile, to quote Vince Vaughn and Be Cool. So you got a little. That's awesome.
The nature pup. He's a wild one. Name is very fitting.
Awesome. The next question I have is: there's many magicians in history, such as David Blaine, Chris Angel, Harry Houdini, Penn and Teller, Siegfried and Froy, Ed Alonzo, who would go on to play Max on Saved by the Bell. So my question for you is: what made you get interested in the arts of magic?
Houdini. I was just always attracted to it at a young age. I think I got a magic set very young. Like, I did magic on the side, and I brought it into wrestling a little bit, and I wish that I was a better magician and had more time to focus on that. But just always interested, in the art and fooling people. It's great. It's great. What's not to love, right?
Of course. I mean, there's many tricks, there's many illusions. Really gets the mind going. To quote,
absolutely.
Mind freaks. I mean, hey.
Absolutely. We've got a Harry Houdini tattoo here, actually.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, the curious thing is I don't want to know how to do it, obviously, because that's not how you do things. Yes. What is your favorite trick? And I'm sorry, Drake, as soon as you're done, just go ahead. But when you hear magic and someone's excited, I just want to know what's the favorite thing you do.
Oh man, I like some card tricks. I like a few coin tricks. I do like party and bar gags. I used to bring a lot of crazy tricks into the bar. There's this one I have where it's like I can have you write something down and then I write something down, but like we write down the same thing. Ironically, that's a pretty fun trick.
Awesome. All right. So obviously you've got wrestling experience, you've got magician's experience. It's a lot with the band. You've got a lot to juggle. So, what was the hardest part that you would say is from your journey of being a pro wrestler, from beginning to end, or beginning to right now, I should say? What was the struggle coming up?
Man, getting your foot in the door. It's very tough, especially. I'm born and raised in California, and I moved to the Midwest to get trained. So, for instance, when I moved back to California, after spending 3 years in the Midwest, I didn't really have any wrestling friends here or anyone that was going to help me out or along the way. So I pretty much, would get myself to promotions all around the country. I wrestled in South Korea last year, as an indie wrestler. And it's just been trying to get to this level, and I'm still not satisfied. I still want more, and I know what I'm capable of, and this is just the beginning. And so, there's still struggles along the way, and it's just not giving up has been the toughest part, believe it or not.
All right. So in your 5-year career, what is your biggest achievement besides winning the N.W.A TV title?
Man, I'm going to go ahead and say working for AEW in Chicago. Danny Daniels trained Seth Rollins, so he's my wrestling grandpa. And all the greats come through AEW before moving on to the next level. And so to finally be there and going to be featured full-time has been on my to-do list from the very start. So I was pretty proud making my entrance at the last show right before things had shut down, and now it was a pretty proud moment for me. So it's like little things like that, my little goals, and when I achieve them, it's very refreshing, and there's no other way to put it but proud.
That's what's up. Now with AEW, one of my boys actually works over there. His name is Trent Zuberi. I don't know if you know him.
Oh yeah,
that's my guy. He's one of the coolest dudes ever, and AEW is awesome. We literally just interviewed Hakeem Zayn, who loves AEW as well. So it's I love hearing about AEW because it's such a great promotion and great staff. But
I'll tell you straight up. I'll tell you straight up what Danny Daniels said to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and quote. He said, "If you would have told me 2 years ago that I'd be flying Zicky Dice out, I would have told you to fuck off." And
wow.
believe it or not, hold the time out. And believe it or not, that was the biggest compliment I think I probably could have received, because that goes to show the hard work. And the best advice I ever got along the way was don't take no for an answer and make yourself undeniable. And guess what? That's exactly what I did. So I took that with pride, and I was very proud at that moment. So, hey, goes to show. Tell me no, and I'm going to work harder.
What? That's awesome. See, I like how you said that, because I took it as like a slap in the face kind of thing. And obviously you use that as fuel, which is super dope. And the best part is, like, the guy Crooked Smile and Drake Adams, they're independent wrestlers. They're coming up, and they're busting their butt to try to get in. And this is the best part is hearing your trials and tribulations of how your come up is. So I know they take this and they absorb it like a sponge. And I'm sorry for rambling, but
no.
Now my question, I'm a big N.W.A guy. My buddy Thomas Latimer's over there, and
love Tom.
Oh yeah, great dude. And winning the N.W.A title and having all the all the Flairs and everybody else who have held that title, and the legends that have held it. What is the emotion knowing that you now are in the list of all those legends holding that title? That's what I'm for.
Well, you know what? I got to say, you answered your own question right there, because look at everyone that has held that title. What happens after? What happens after their television reign? Huh? Go ahead. Somebody, anybody, answer the damn question, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. I am, in fact, going to take over the world, and no wrestling promotion is safe. I don't give a flying fuck who, where, what, when, why. This is my time now, and I'm going to do the things the way that I want them done, and I don't give a shit what anyone else has to say about it.
Listen.
And you know what? Someone else said yesterday, when's the last time the television title was talked about? With all due respect, yeah, Ricky Starks was a great television champion, but who's got them talking about this title, huh? Who? Outlandish Zicky Dice. I am making that title rise to the top with me.
Listen, you're the perfect guy to take this belt to the next level. I mean, this is no bull. Like, and I'm going to be completely honest. When I first watched N.W.A, when I seen you, I was like, who's this Zicky Dice guy, right? I was like, okay. And then by the second and third show, I was like, holy shit, I'm a fan of this guy. Like, it was so weird. Larkin, do you remember me talking to the chat about that?
Oh, yeah, it's great, because we were touching upon this, and I said what's great about his character is he's evoking emotions, and he's outlandish, Chef. Come on now.
You're damn right.
It was so crazy, because I literally went from, wow, who is this guy, to instantly like, wow, I'm a fan of this guy. And, Larkin's laughing at me because he was like, bro, in a week that happened? I'm like, yo, I don't know what it is, but he grabbed your attention, and I think it's because it's so different, it's so unique, it's so fresh that it's such a dope thing that you're putting out there.
Thank you. And you know what? I went back and watched like my debut, and what some people don't realize is, yes, we film a whole season within a weekend. So I remember walking out through the curtain my first match, and yeah, I've been working in the Indies the last 4.5 years or so, but it was quiet, dead quiet. And I heard murmurs like, "Who is this guy? Rip off this, bootleg that." And by the end, I had everybody booing me in 6 minutes time. 6 minutes time, I had everybody in the palm of my hand. And then, we filmed the next episode within an hour or so, and the other one following. And by episode 3, in the same day, just go ahead and watch the crowd reactions. That's what I do best. I am an emotional salesman. I sell emotion, and I'm damn good at it. And I'm sure the hairs on your arms are raising as you listen to this right now.
You know what's crazy is I know everybody in here is smiling like this is what professional wrestling is. You know what? Everybody in here, unmute yourself, please, and tell me what you think of what he just said.
I'm not gonna lie. He called it out the gate. Like, I've been like laughing and smiling about this guy since like the beginning of this podcast. Like, this dude, like, he's got the personality.
And I've heard this for so long, with all due respect, and yes, of course, I love hearing it. Go ahead and stroke this Zicky Dice's mullet curls anytime. But there was times I had 2 WWE tryouts, June of last year and June of the year prior. First year, you know what happened? I got a standing ovation after my match, and I didn't hear shit. Second time I went back, and all I did was a few magic tricks. And I used to do this move. You haven't seen it yet, but I do a neck breaker and a spinning neck breaker, and cards come out from everywhere. They come raining down. Look it up. It's sweet. I did that, and you know what? I had big old standing ovation, and Devon came up to me and said, the only thing that was wrong with your match is that Vince McMahon wasn't there to see it himself. You're a superstar. Jeff Jarrett coming up and touching my fanny pack. Michael Hayes coming up to me and be like, "Hey, don't steal my style." And I said, "Chill out, Dad." That's what I told him. And popped him hard right there in the hallway. But nothing came from that. I got sick and tired of hearing that I was a star, because you know what? I know that I'm a mega star. I know that. And now it's time that the world finds out. And guess what? They had to do it the hard way, because I've been trying to kick every single door down, looking for opportunities and look for someone or somewhere to put me on the map. And you know what? It looks like it. I just happened to take over N.W.A in the meantime. Oops. Sorry. Did you know that when they brought me there, this is a true story. Shooting crap with Zicky Dice right now is what we're doing. You got Zicky Dice fired up. You got my blood pressure going. My doctor wouldn't be happy, but hey, here we are. I went to N.W.A, and David Lagana said, "Zicky, I got you on this set of tapings. We'll have you at the pay-per-view in the next set of tapings, and then I don't know what's going to happen from there." And what happened from there? What happened? I think I pinned Ricky Starks 2 weeks clean in a row, the second time to win the World Television Championship. And by God, go ahead and watch the footage if I'm lying. I haven't even had to cheat yet.
Absolutely not. I think a star was born, and I think what's great, just to add on to Chef's point about you being one of the best in professional wrestling, we see like that overall, what really is the golden age of professional wrestling in the 80s, kind of got like that Miami Vice logo to you. All you need is to play goes. And I think that's what's great about you. It shows within your character, and also, dare I say, Michael Hayes, Bad Street USA. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
It's one of those things where it's great just to see your overall, like you mentioned, outlandish, and just your overall representation of what is the golden age of professional wrestling. And now you had mentioned there, talking about trying out for WWE. I actually wanted to ask you about the Tough Enough tryout, because we've seen, from its inception with Maven and Linda Miles and Jackie Gata, and then we would see Johnny Nitro, a.k.a. John Hennigan, John Morrison, whatever you wanted to find him, and Matt Capitelli, The Miz, and so many come from Tough Enough in 2015, like Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. So I wanted to ask you, being, the synonymous with the history of WWE Tough Enough, talk about trying out for it.
Funny. I had submitted and got together with a camera friend of mine, and we submitted a little video, and I got contacted. I was in the grocery store, and I got a call from WWE, and I had to do a 45-minute interview right there in the grocery store with this gal, and she moved me on to the next level. And then she asked me to sign some papers, and then my video was played on SmackDown, and I had 6 more interviews, and I was almost a candidate for Tough Enough. The gal said she loved me more than anyone, and I was her top choice. So at this point, I was just about to be moving to the Midwest for Black and Brave. So I actually had to let Black and Brave know, like, hey, I have this opportunity, and if it comes up, I may take it. And they said, okay, well, let us know what's up. And either way, I was in good hands. Either way, one way I'm going to Tough Enough. B, I'm going to Black and Brave to train with the current WWE champion. You know, it ended up coming down to the USA Network, I believe. Ended up picking the final cast, and I was not picked. But the gal had mentioned if it was up to her, I would have been on Tough Enough. So I was that close. But hey, I told her the same thing I'm going to tell you guys. I said, hey, well, I'll take the long road. I'll see you there.
Well, just to also comment about that, I was talking with Chef about this last night, and he can attest to it. Probably, I got to say this, I loved your audition video.
Thank you. Don't recognize that cat anymore. Different looking dude, but thank you.
You don't, but the intensity's there in which we can see as you are today, sir.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Just real quick, I don't want to cut nobody off, but we're all heels here, so I don't see it as cheating. I just see it simply. I see it as simply outsmarting our opponents.
Hey,
and
I grew up
making it
on
a little
the
bit
streets,
easier.
man. I literally just told you one carnival to the other. I told you I love magic because you can fool everybody. And guess the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. And you know what? And since we're on the subject, and I feel bad because they can say what they want about me being television champion. But what I'm going to do when this is all said and done is maybe on the first episode of Power Back. In the meantime, I've been searching high and low for the best wrestlers that the world has to offer. And I'm going to defend my television championship 7 times in one night. 7 times in one night. To then what happens after that? Huh? I'll tell you what. I'm going to get my hands on the 10 pounds of pink. I'm going to win that sucker, dip it in pink paint and pink glitter, and I'm going to run wild.
Okay, now I don't want to cut my man Drake off. I don't know why I do this. I always cut everybody off. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. 10 pounds of pink, we got to start hashtagging that. That sounds freaking outlandish.
Absolutely. Let the world know. You know what? Let the world know that I am coming for the 10 pounds of pink, and I don't care what anyone thinks about that.
Nick Aldis, you've been put on blast.
I'll slap that dollop he calls a haircut right off his head. and he can use a bunch of big words because Zicky Dice doesn't read books, and I'm not going to understand anyway. So,
just to add on to that, the Chef. I don't mean to cut you off. You could slap that Nick Bockwinkel wannabe right across his face. You do that, Mr. Zicky Dice.
Yeah, I would. It would be my absolute pleasure.
My fault, Drake Adams, because we all seem to cut you off like it was cool. My fault, brother.
Hey, no, we're vibing. We're vibing. This is the outlandish feel. You tell me. I said I sell emotion, and I'm selling it right here, right now, baby.
And he's not wrong, man. I've been laughing start to stop at this whole podcast here, man. My question for you would be, now, the first match I watched of you was up against Funny Bone. I can't remember the promotion for the life of me, but I remember seeing you toss the streamers and stuff like that. And to me, I thought that it would be a great kind of idea to do a magician's match, play along those lines a little bit. Not sure how that would go together, but is there a specific match type you would like to do that you haven't done yet?
Oh, man. Yeah. I would love to have a cage match, but I want the old cage really, really bad. I've never had a ladder match. I guess ish had one. Never had one of those. I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind having a first blood match. There's a lot of things I haven't done that I want to do. But yeah, bring them on. Bring them on.
What would you say is your number one?
Oh man, probably the cage match. Absolutely.
When you have to do a pink cage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
What you got, Crooked?
Man, I'm just vibing real quick. I'm just like enjoying this, man. I'm sorry. It's got me thrown off. But yeah, since we're gonna go off of that, I actually, as Chef said, like I'm an upcoming wrestler and stuff. So for somebody like me and all these other young upcoming wrestlers, like what's the best advice you can give to like help us out?
All right, it's gonna hurt. It's either you go all in or you quit or you stop. You know, If you want to be the biggest hometown wrestler that there is, fine. So be it. Train, work out, have fun. If you want to take over the world, there's no half-assing this. You will lose friends. You will miss weddings. You will miss birthdays. You will miss out on family opportunities. But you got to go all in, and you got to commit. And you got to be willing to change and adapt along the way, or else you'll fall right into the mix of everybody else. But hey, I'm going to say this. And I've said this in a podcast before. I'm going to say it again. It's probably the smartest thing that's ever left my lips. But if you want it, and this applies to anything in life, not just pro wrestling, if you want it, go get it. It's that easy, right? It won't be that simple, but it's that easy.
Absolutely. Everything comes with a price.
Yep.
See, now, my question is a little different. I like to ask people this because, listen, I'm a typical guy. I think women are super hot. So if you could pick one female, obviously not to get you in trouble, for only in-ring, stuff like that, who would be the female that you would have be your valet or manager, whatever they want to label it?
Miss Elizabeth.
The greatest of all time. Please go into that, because as a kid, I had a serious, massive crush on her.
Absolutely. Dude, absolutely. Miss Elizabeth, 110%. And, I've had people try and pitch managers and stuff, and I don't need one. And by God, the only way that I would is if I had a Miss Elizabeth. The best. From the hair, the way she dressed, the way she acted, the best.
To add on to what Chef said there, I mean, absolutely. How can you not Miss Elizabeth, besides being the most beautiful, one of the most classiest managers of all time?
Or Sensational Sherry. I could take that too.
True. I mean, right after that with Miss Elizabeth, you had Sensational Sherry, one of the greats in Macho Man's managerial career, King Macho. So absolutely. Question I have for you, sir, is that you've got to wrestle a lot of great people. One I was curious about was Manny Fabarino, who would later go on to be Mansoor. We will later go on to be Mansoor in WWE, and Cole Quinn in WWE 2K19 and 2K20. He's had a lot of great matches with Cesaro and being featured on the NXT brand. So I have to ask you, what was it like getting in there with Manny?
I was actually just talking about this the other day. I'm glad that this came up. We worked at Best of the West here in Fresno, and I think I went to spit fire on him that match, and he may have blocked it, and that's how he beat me, I believe. I think, and it was great. And I saw talent in him, and believe it or not, he kind of reminded me of a young Tyler Black when I first met him. I kind of got that vibe. But it's great to see him growing up the ranks, and I couldn't be more proud. I'm glad to say I was able to step in there and whoop his ass a little bit.
Drake, what do you have for the big guy?
All right, so Zicky Dice is outlandish, and he looks like a man who could party hard. So what is Zicky Dice's go-to drink?
Oh, baby, gin and tonic all day. That answer's changed. I used to be more whiskey, but you know what? I like my gin and tonic.
Okay.
I would picture something a little more colorful from a guy wearing all that pink.
I know, but that's why I got to keep the focus on me. I can't have the drink stealing all the spotlight.
Fair enough.
Crooked, what you got? Because I got one more question for the guy. Because listen, what he's given us is absolute gold. He's been the best interview I've ever done.
You damn right.
Listen, without a question, and I could easily go back and send you every single one, and I've never said that, and I've interviewed a lot of really cool people, and I've never said that, but this is definitely by far my favorite of all time. Crooked, please ask him a question. I got one more.
So I'm looking at cage match here, so I'm looking through a couple of the history books and stuff like that. So how was it to work for CZW? Because I've heard that's an extreme company. And I know you said you're having a first blood match. So how's that working for that company?
I've never worked there, actually. I wrestled DJ Hyde once at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I think, and a few guys from CCW, but I've never worked there.
What kind of bogus information are you asking this man?
Hey, I'm going to have to kill somebody at cage match because they give me some false information.
Well, if you don't mind.
Hopefully it was not another fat red bearded dude like back when compared to me.
I mean, if you don't mind me just cutting in for a second, I mean, that is very plausible. DJ Hyde with the history that he had with CZW. So, I mean, he's half right on that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I did work a few other guys coming through. I've never been there, or any other New Jersey hardcore promotion to say, or Philly area promotion. But hey, we're here. I've done one death match. I did do one death match with Marcus Crane right before going to N.W.A. I said I would do one, so I did one. That's floating out there if you want to watch that. And a fun fact, that was actually Marcus Crane's last match as of yet, and since his surgery, if you guys want to go and watch that. And that's the one time Zicky Dice did a death match. Never do that again.
So are you saying you put him on the rack?
Could be. Yeah,
because the information I got was from I believe it says 07/21/17. So that's what threw me off.
Oh, damn.
Listen,
report it. Fake news.
You give me that information. You know, I got the people in the streets. We'll let them know to, check somebody real quick. So now here's my thing. When we were talking about the 10 pounds of pink, because it will no longer be called the old name. Now Nick Aldis has his group. You know what I mean? He has his faction, his stable. If you were to proceed in going for the 10 pounds of pink, if you were to start your stable to make sure the odds are even, who would you bring in?
Well, I got me and my fanny pack for starters, so I won't need too much more. But hey, I may need a little bit of help. And you know what? Who? I don't know. What's Enzo up to? I don't know. See what he's doing. Who knows? Maybe I'll see what the Peacock's doing. What's he up to? Huh?
Listen, guys, Larkin, do you have anything left for the man?
I do. I just have two quick things, if that's all right. Number one, first and foremost, I got to say, I love the outlandish name. And as I was mentioning before, the golden age of professional wrestling, that is the 80s. And when you look at your appearance, I look at the earring, kind of reminds me of old school Jesse the Body Ventura. I mean, you look at names like Exotic, like from Adrian Street, look like Adorable, like Adrian Adonis. So I got to say, I think with the overall presentation, you fit a lot of those great names up.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
And the other thing I got to ask is, are you still trying to get a collab going with Joe Exotic from prison there?
I had a plug. You think I'm kidding? I really did. I haven't heard back from the plug. I'm trying to work something out. But you never know what's going to happen. There's some. If you just heard some of the phone conversations I had yesterday alone, you would be shocked. I promise you, some outlandish fun is ahead.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You know what's crazy is my guys sit there and they go, why you always got to say the word the plug? Or you got those peoples. Listen, not only is Zicky Dice outlandish, not only is he the man, but he's got the plugs. I'm just letting you know right now, we're talking to a legend right now. And if you don't understand that, it's a problem.
My phone is, I got one house phone, the ringer, straight ringer. I got busy signal all day, people trying to get through and have business deals for outlandish Zicky Dice. I'm telling you, where are you guys at? Where in New York?
Well, New York, Florida, and Virginia.
I just I'm supposed to be at the big event in November if this all clears up, so you can come get your Zicky Dice meet and greet, meet the title, meet the fanny pack. It's my first time at the big event, so I'm stoked. Hopefully this all clears up and we can have some fun.
Oh, this is amazing. Listen, on behalf of my guys and everyone here, we appreciate it. If you could see how they've been chatting, like, this guy's the man, he's amazing. Like, it just keeps lighting them up. You killed it.
Beautiful. I got to do a shameless plug before I get out of here. But if you want to follow this outlandish journey I call life, I made it nice and simple. At Zicky Dice on every piece of social media. Please head over to my Twitch. I got a lot of fun coming via Twitch. And if you need your official outlandish merch and the letter N Dice, head to zickydice.com or prowrestlingtees.com/ZickyDice. Team, thank you so much for having me. I hope I've made you feel some type of way.
No, definitely. This was absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, on top of that, we just want to say thank you again, and we're out of here.